before the ships crossed the black northern sea, some Viking sailors watched the harbor cats first. If the cat stayed calm, the night felt less hostile. On long northern nights, people believed a cat could hear the storm before the roof began to speak. Its stillness made fear feel organized. A dog could bark at danger, but a cat watched the fog as if something hidden inside it had already introduced itself. In a wooden house, the doorway mattered. Inside was fire, bread, sleep. Outside was snow, wolves, sea wind, and the unknown. At first, cats were practical companions. They guarded grain, food stores, and sleeping rooms from quiet dangers that entered without warning. Then came Freyja, the goddess of beauty, longing, magic, and battle. The old stories gave her companions no human army could command. Some Norse stories remembered Freyja riding in a chariot pulled by great cats. In that image, softness and power became impossible to separate. Freyja was not only tenderness, she was grief, desire, gold, war, and the strange silence after men did not return from the sea. That is why a cat, in the Viking world, never feels small. It can sit by the fire and still carry the mood of the storm outside. Before a voyage, a sailor might touch the ship, check the wind, and glance at the cat watching from the dock like an omen with fur. Some families slept more easily when the cat refused to sleep. Its open eyes made the darkness feel less alone. Under aurora light, even an ordinary forest cat could seem older than the village. The North Sea was never only water. It was fate, hunger, distance, and a place where human voices disappeared quickly. In storm fog, some sailors could imagine Freyja moving between waves, her cats walking beside her where no human foot could stand. Cat tracks across fresh snow could feel like a sentence written by the night. By morning, the wind would erase it. A sleeping cat beside the fire changed the entire room. It made survival look ordinary, domestic, and almost sacred. Children learned that cats noticed things adults missed: a shift in wind, a sound under the wall, the pause before snowfall. A cat near a mother and child was more than charming. It made the fragile center of the home feel watched over. The same animal could appear near death, after battle. Cats sometimes wandered through places humans could barely enter again. Snow softened everything: broken wood, iron, memory. A cat crossing that silence made the scene feel less like history and more like grief. Ravens belonged to the sky. Cats belonged to thresholds. Between them, the Viking world imagined signs everywhere. Some believed the dead traveled through fog, snow, and dream. A cat moving calmly there made the boundary feel thinner. Freyja received part of the fallen in old belief. Her cats, in our imagination, become silent companions of the sorrow after violence. Cats moved through places humans charged with fear. They did not explain the silence. They simply crossed it. Ice slowly covered what people had once carried with pride. The cat passed by without judgment, as if history was only weather. Inside the longhouse, firelight touched beams, bowls, faces, and fur. Outside, winter pressed its whole body against the walls. At night, every sound beyond the wooden door mattered. The cat heard first, turned first, and made everyone hold their breath. Isolation changed the meaning of companionship. In winter, a cat was not decoration. It was another heartbeat inside the room. During winter meals, the cat moved under benches and bowls like a quiet thread sewing the household together. A granary was tomorrow. A cat inside it guarded more than food. It guarded the chance that the village would wake fed. On a ship, a cat was warmth, pest control, omen, and company. In the cold sea wind, usefulness could become belief. A cat near the prow made the ship feel watched by something smaller than a god, but older than human confidence. A sailor might not pray loudly. He might only place one rough hand near the cat and wait for morning. A lantern in snow can look like a small argument against the universe. A cat beside it makes the argument feel alive. The forest was another threshold. A cat stopping at its edge made the pines feel like they were listening. Tracks are proof until they disappear. The Viking North taught people that even signs could be temporary. A cat beside a frozen window creates an old feeling. Someone is watching the outside. so the inside can rest. A child might remember the cat more clearly than the storm, the ears, the eyes, the calm body beside the door. After ships failed to return, silence entered houses. Sometimes the only creature that knew how to sit inside it was a cat. An empty bench in a longhouse can hold more presence than a crowd. A cat beneath it makes absence visible. When men vanished at sea, the shore remained. Cats still crossed the docks. Indifferent and strangely comforting, Freyja's myths carried gold, desire, and sorrow in snow. Even imagine gold becomes a small warmth against endless cold. Norse magic lived close to weather, memory, and fear. A cat near a cirrus felt less like a pet than a witness. In stories, halls held memory. The cat walking through them heard what people stopped saying aloud. People have always asked animals to carry what humans cannot bear: warning, luck, comfort, and the shape of the unseen. The aurora turned the sky into movement. Beneath it, the cat stayed still, making the heavens seem even stranger. Winter was not a season in the north. It was an atmosphere that entered wood, wool, bone, and belief. A cat changes a room without speaking. It rearranges silence until the home feels less empty. An old sailor may forget names, storms, and routes, but he remembers the cat that would not leave the dock. Even now, dark water carries ancient fear. A cat staring into it makes the fear feel noticed. A ship at rest can look like an animal sleeping. The cat beside it becomes another guardian of journeys not yet taken. Smoke rising from cabins told the village who was still alive, still warm, still inside the human circle. Women worked through winter with hands, wool, memory, and silence. The cat nearby made the labor feel witnessed. A simple offering can reveal a worldview. Milk placed near a cat turns need, gratitude, and superstition into one quiet act. The idea of giant cats pulling a goddess through the sky feels strange because it joins domestic intimacy with cosmic scale. Snow erases certainty. That may be why humans trusted creatures that seemed comfortable without maps. Cats remain strangely calm beside human fear. They do not solve it, but they make the room less defenseless. Freyja survived not only as myth, but as atmosphere. Gold and snow, longing and fog, cats moving through silence. Burial mounds made memory part of the land. A cat walking there turned grief into something quiet, present, and alive. After the storm passed, no one thanked the silence. They simply noticed the cat was still there. Long after voices faded, harbor cats still crossed the boards. They made abandoned places feel remembered. One lantern in the dark can change the feeling of an entire world. A cat beside it makes that world feel inhabited. Stone remembers one way, snow remembers another. Every culture gives thresholds meaning. The Vikings gave theirs: weather, fire, gods, and animals that refused to be explained. Perhaps humans trusted cats because they looked unafraid of darkness, as if the dark had already accepted them. Companionship does not always require language. Sometimes it is enough that something warm stays close while the world freezes. The north gave loneliness a shape: a cabin, a fjord, a snow road, and a cat waiting where the light ends. Maybe the Viking cat story survives because it names an old feeling that small creatures can guard large human fears. Even now, a cat staring into dark water feels ancient, as if it recognizes a world humans only visit in dreams. Perhaps Vikings trusted cats because they moved through darkness without fear, as if the night already belonged to them.